full-on popsicle this time.
Nice.
We're back, baby. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frostside Chat, our weekly live stream post-session discussion where we talk about what just happened during D&D. This is the chat for session 40. If you've not watched that session yet, please go do that now because there will be spoilers. I am your Dungeon Master, Eric. Joining me, we've got... the camera's messed up. Crap. I need to fix that. We've got Ball Robbins player Chris.
Hello.
Edmonds player Raymond. What happened to my cameras? I guess I didn't update this since this chat list, so I will have to fix that in a second.
Was Forge of Fury chat set up differently?
Maybe. We didn't have 3 people usually. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, start chatting while I fix this. It's in order.
We leveled up. Alright, so I started. Well, I guess we started with a recap. Welcome back to Frostside. Or, remember the Frostmaiden.
Yeah.
But then we leveled up. Level 7's, well, it's, I mean, for those, it's kind of, actually kind of across the board. People who got, like class abilities got, like, cool things. Like, Heather's was neat.
Yeah.
And, Edmonds is pretty neat, too. Like, his, like, inspiration thing.
What'd you say about me?
Your
What'd
level
you call
7 ability is pretty neat. The inspiration thing.
Yeah.
You can like give someone.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Seems quite fitting for a alchemist.
Yeah.
Artificer, I mean. Artificer.
Right. I mean, Bard level 7 was I get a level 4 spell that I wasn't able to use. I will never stop complaining about the fact that I didn't get to do it.
I've been in that same position, man. I literally, I remember, I can't think of a specific anecdote, but I remember thinking, oh man, this is the perfect chance for me to do the thing, and then you get knocked out or taken down or stunned or something that you're like, fuck, no.
It's either in hindsight now, but should you have rolled inspiration to try to get a better initiative?
Well, that's something we never think of, is it?
We never think about that. You're right. And yes, Raymond, because not only because it would have helped, but because the way my secret works is I have disadvantage on on initiative. So getting a third roll would have been really good. Like, because my initiative is always the worst of 2 rolls. So adding okay, now try a third time.
I forgot about that ability or that secret ability.
Yeah.
And he's usually not going pretty quick.
Raymond, that never even crossed my mind, but now in hindsight, I absolutely should have.
Of course, at the time, you might not. Well, I guess you actually did know because by the time. So this was an interesting thing. I was like, all right, what I'm going to do. I want to. So this is interesting too because this is all completely designed by me. We're off the book completely. I know it's weird because it's main quest, but like the main quest is very light, so I've had to like add to it. And this was a big part of it. So this dungeon is completely designed by me. And I was like, I want to start off with a really big fight. You know, they're going to be fully rested. It's a great time to do it at the start of a dungeon. You know, even before they even start doing the room-to-room dungeon crawl, basically. The best way to do that is to have it happen before I even put them on the map. Be like, all right, there's going to be a surprise round. These things are going to appear.
To start off with, that's a question I had right off the bat was there ever, it didn't sound like it the way you were describing it, but was there ever a way you were going to let us know that we were about to step into a fight? Because you didn't really give us do you want, perception checks or anything? There was nothing to that. It was just immediately
I figure I could get away with this once. And well, seriously, because now oh shit, there are creatures out there that can look like snow piles and icicles that can come to life and get us. So now you guys might be a little more paranoid with that. But I literally figured out I can confidently get away with doing this to you one time, the first time, even if you guys are pretty cautious, which are usually honestly pretty not. Usually you're just going into things, especially the at the outside of a dungeon.
Yeah. There's no reason for us to think there's anything dangerous out
there. But now every time you're like, oh shit, there's a snow pile, I gotta throw something at it or something. So now I figure you guys can. I'll be more cautious about doing that. But I did think and no, there really wasn't anything. You guys were gonna essentially be triggering this fight at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that was going to give me a surprise round. What I did not realize was how much fucking damage these things would do to you in that first round. Yes, they have 3 attacks, which is huge. And I put 6 of them on the board. because I was like, all right, one per person, and then Valen's with you.
Yeah.
They don't have a big. They have you guys can see it in the thing. They have a +4 to hit. That's not anything. But I forget, you guys kind of don't have the best AC amongst your party member.
We don't have any like knights or fighters or paladins or clerics. Yeah.
There's so many high rolls too. So many 20s.
There was a lot. I have a +4. Like the odds of getting all of these 21s, 23s is me rolling like 18s and 19s every time.
I think if you were to chart this, the vast majority of the golem's turns, they hit twice and missed once.
Yeah.
And then below that, there was a number of times where they hit once and missed twice. Hardly. I mean, I don't think they ever hit 3 times. I think there was like one time where they missed all 3.
There was one time they missed all 3. There was, I think there was at least one time they had all 3, if not more. But I was shocked. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the damage they do is a lot. So I was
there too.
It got to be pretty scary that first. And I talked about this in crafting, but like the easiest way to swing the balance in the DM's favor is give you a surprise round. Either, obviously it goes the other way with the players. The players get a surprise round that vastly swings things in their direction. The other crazy thing is they have a fucking -2 on their dexterity, so a -2 on their initiative, and I rolled fucking like 18, 16, 14. I beat half you guys on the initiative, which means half of them got to go again before you guys could go, and that's what ended your career.
That is what. Absolutely. 100%.
I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, holy shit. I was getting a little scared because I was like, oh my god, these guys are just destroying them. And this is just my beginning fight.
Yep.
Yeah, and Valen didn't do any. I had all like, okay, what are the spells she could do? And literally, she had her one round, she tried to stabilize you and failed, and then she went down, which, on the one hand, that sucks for your spellcasting NPC. On the other hand, she's got a bunch of hit points and she tanked like a motherfucker. So
that's true. She did take like 3 or 4 hits.
And her zombie took another. I don't know what the damage was total, but I mean, we know that Frey's got 90 hit points. She went down to 6. Like, there was like 200, 300 points of damage dealt to you guys amongst the party. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So obviously, this was something that I designed and apparently overtuned a little bit. I think the surprise round might have pushed things over a little bit, but also it's a dice. It's the dice just went in the favor.
It is the dice. This feels like one of those fights that is a hard, like in terms of like the categories, is a hard fight that the dice turned.
It doesn't look hard on paper,
but the dice turned it into a deadly fight.
Yeah,
like it went from hard to deadly just based on nothing but the dice rolls of how fast they went, the surprise round. The fact they were hitting so much despite having only a +4. It's
And I had my ice methods. My whole plan was to have this cute synergy combo where I'm like, oh shit, the snow golems heal when they get hit by ice. I'm gonna have ice methods that are gonna.
We genuinely didn't give a shit at that point. We were like,
no, it fell flat because the fight was going so badly for you guys. You're like, oh, just throw another fucking log on the fire, just of us burning. So I was like, I almost skipped them. I was like, this feels too bad to even add these things. I wanted to do it because I was like, I want to get off my cool combo.
Yeah.
I had.
It's kind of fun that you were able to add that, and we were still able to persevere. But it was definitely like it was less the like.
This this other thing.
It was less a twist in the fight, and it was more like you said, like another log on the fire. Like, all right.
Yeah. I had 3 of them total. Obviously, I didn't even spawn the 3rd one because I was like, this is going real bad for you guys. I'm not gonna do that. And then
that is funny. After we insulted them and called them stupid looking and grimaces, they just beat us to death.
That's a Futurama reference too. Plus, they said you guys look like dorks. They look like dorks.
Where are these creatures from? I've never seen that art before.
This campaign.
Oh, really? They're from the campaign.
They're actually from this campaign.
Okay.
Yep, they are literally minions of the Frostmaiden. So I was like, this is fucking great. This works perfect. That I can seed them in, early, and it makes sense for the story why they'd be here, and it's just a cool use of them to be the like snow piles that animate, and it's this whole new tier of creature because you guys are level 7. And I've said before, I love this reminds me of the Terrafolk fight in Tomb of Annihilation. Glass cannon monsters are real fucking cool. Because they do a bunch of scary damage, but then they don't necessarily stick around too often. Now,
yeah.
And these guys have some very specific weaknesses, which I think is also fun for players to exploit.
Yeah.
They're extremely slow. They have 10 feet movement speed, which you saw, although they do have a ranged attack, which does almost as much damage. And they're vulnerable to fire.
Yeah.
So they take double damage from all those fire spells, and Edmund suddenly was racking up all this damage,
Yep,
especially Green
yep.
Flame Blade. He's spreading that around every time. That was just double damage on all these guys. Now they have and they have shitty AC. Like everything hits them. So going full offense, which I think that's what I also gave Celeste that kind of DM ruling of like, oh, I love the fact that you like really desperately want to help Robin, but also I don't want you guys to do TPK, so you're going to be able to attack some guys.
Yeah.
That was my like rewarding in the moment of a character role playing. Is like, I think she's already got inspiration, so I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
How about your role playing on the method? Were you like tempted to bring him closer to us to try to get the cone, or did you keep it like dumb and stop moving so far?
I purposely, so stat block wise, the methods are supposed to be perfectly intelligent. The golems are not. And I very quickly decided, okay, these things are going to be as mindless as the golem. And technically they could just be a different kind of, not ice methods, but they're just icicle creatures from, and I made it like, all right, they're just like mindless constructs. So yeah, they don't know even to get away from fire. They're like that mindless.
Yeah.
So I pretty quickly, I didn't necessarily think of that when I was planning it, but during the fight, seeing as how you guys were struggling, I was like, I need to play these guys as just mindless, like doing their thing. Technically, they're supposed to be able to recharge and get their frost breath back. I skipped that because I was like, this is just not doing much.
I mean, we were also at the end of the fight at that point,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
like we were pretty far in. So yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. God damn it. A slow spell in the beginning would have been fucking amazing.
It would have been fucking amazing. It would have been insane.
These guys would have attacked all of them because it's a 40-foot cube.
Yeah.
All of them would have attacked once. Eric, you have no idea. Once that surprise round was happening, how excited I got. I was literally like, oh shit. These guys are all like, I realized exactly what you were doing in the beginning. I was like, all right, these are like ambush, glass cannon, attack 3 times enemies. I'm going to fucking shut these guys down.
Yeah. It would have been, I did not see that coming either. I was like, oh yeah, that was great. I mean, honestly, slow's great against everything.
Yeah.
And what's the save? Like wisdom or something that they're probably,
wisdom.
Yeah, they're super shitty at that.
But it's like, it gets, or at least is what I can tell. The vast majority of its value is cutting out extra attacks. Like any enemy that attacks twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or whatever,
once.
It can only attack once. And it's such a boon when you're,
That's a huge part of, like, any creature that's not, a spellcaster. That's a big chunk of its offensive potential, is just multiple attacking. And this one, that's all it does is just attack a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's very odd for a slow golem creature that has 3 attacks.
That is odd, actually. Like, how is it punching so fast?
Yeah, it's very slow. Like it gets up there and just like rotates around or something. Fists are just popping out of there.
You're drawing like 3 snowballs at once. I'm like, how?
Yeah, because it just says it's multi-attack makes 3 attacks, and then it's a slam or it snowballs. Like I guess it makes 3 snowball attacks too.
Yeah,
just throwing them everywhere. Yeah, I loved the
right.
flaming.
You're right, Nick. The sanctuary technically should have ended. Well, not the first round because I don't. Well, whenever you attack, sanctuary ends.
Sanctuary worked well for Edmund. However, it should have faded after casting and doing damage with a spell.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we didn't read the fine print on that one. I'll give you that one because I didn't know that either.
I forgot about that from I think my Kalinar days. I remember Sanctuary as like, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't Kalinar. I've seen Sanctuary at least once before, where it's like as long as they don't attack
you,
no one else.
And actually ends the spell when you attack.
Oh damn it! If the water creature makes an attack, casts a spell that affects an enemy creature or deals damage, the spell ends.
Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna get a YouTube comment about like, that should have ended. That's all right though. You guys were struggling so bad that I'm fine with overlooking that one, and I did not know the fine print on that one for sure.
Right.
How many spells did you cast this fight, Ray?
That's it. I mean, unless you got cantrips.
Oh yeah, I guess Flame Blade is a cantrip. So it was just the Flaming Sphere and was Sanctuary a spell?
Right. Sanctuary is a spell I chose at some point, and Flaming Sphere you automatically get as an artificer.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So certain levels you get a couple free spells. That doesn't count.
I guess spell slots, I guess, was my question. So you only spent 2 spell slots?
Yes, only 2 spell slots.
I think Reese spent more doing that magic weapon.
he did.
He cast Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Which is a first level spell, and then cast 2 magic weapon. Poor bastard. Yeah.
I mean, we needed it. It was necessary because he did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But without the magic weapon, his damage was just nullified. So it was like, yeah, we need to find him a magic bow.
The DM is aware. The DM is aware of this. I was gonna place one in a different location than this one, but I will say, Ray, if you still have Shardlin, you can still craft Shardlin arrows for him.
Oh, those would be magical damage.
Oh yeah.
I guess I should.
Presumably, you would find more Shardlin at dig site, so.
And there's probably gonna be more snowmen.
Yeah,
hopefully not too many more snowmen. That's gonna be y'all are gonna be in for a gnarly short rest here.
Even though these monsters were very dangerous and far more dangerous than I initially took them for, but I will say that the art is still pretty dumb looking.
The art is pretty dumb looking. It's real funny.
They're like smiling and they look like Grimace and it's
Grimace thing sent me. That was fucking hilarious. Yeah, so this was. Everything in here is homebrewed by me.
This whole quest is homebrewed?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, every part of this is homebrewed, and
Where does this map come from?
This map is from Seafoot Games, which they have a Patreon. I do subscribe to their Patreon. I wish I could tell you what map this is exactly, but it's a variant of another map they had. I spent an hour trying to look up this map where I got it from, and I just do not remember, unfortunately. And they literally have like 100 maps.
Yeah.
And each one has like 5 variants. So I know the name of this one, but it's like a variant of another one. So the name doesn't even really help you. So unfortunately, all I can tell you is it's from Seafoot Games. Check them out on Patreon because they make really good map art. I also use their map art for the Goodmead Brewery. I used that. I think I used 2 of their maps put together and then used like some other art. Like that one was really haphazardly thrown together because I needed a very specific, like apiary plus brewery is not really a map you can find.
Right.
This map I found like 6 months ago or something. And when I was trying to develop like how am I going to make this main quest be better than what's in the book, and I knew I wanted to have it. I needed at least one stage, one dungeon that connected more things together. And then I just saw this map because I've subscribed to their Patreon, and I saw it as one of the variants. It's like, this is fucking perfect. It's gonna work exactly what I need. So the map is from them, and so I'm doing kind of what you do, Chris. I'm just looking at the map, and then I'm like, okay, what's in this room? What's in this room? What's in this room? So I've
letting the art guide the story.
Yeah, kind of. Like I know what I need to have happen, but otherwise I'm let the art guide some of the stuff that's going on here. So, and it's really I'm kind of out of my comfort zone because I usually take an established dungeon and then I tweak things here and there. I'll add some story bits, but otherwise stuff is set, and none of it is set. So
interesting.
And already I went real hard at the very first fight at the entrance.
I mean, we survived. So I think that the note is that this is like the hard to deadly range that you were in right there, which we persevered.
Thanks. I have a question on that.
Yeah.
If Chris had cast slow, this would probably been like easy. We would have been done 30 minutes.
Right. It's so hard to balance these fights because and if I hadn't rolled really good initiative.
Was it more exciting this way?
Yeah,
probably.
It is fun for a player to do something that's like, this is so effective at shutting things down. But yeah, I hope so. I will say it's a bit of a challenge in D&D in that a lot of fights you want to make them exciting, and that's often how they get exciting is you bring the players to that brink. I don't think you want to do that every fight, but I do think that makes the dramatic tension. But there is, and you can feel the energy if you push too hard. And people are just like, we're just getting fucked. This is so like curtains. I just can't do anything. I'm stunned. I'm unconscious. Whatever. Then you pushed a little too hard, and that needle's it's doing the cartoony like thing. You want to get it to like here, but not like this. At least for our group, some folks might respond better. But
the sweet spot is danger, but I have options.
Yeah.
The frustration comes
danger, but I can see a path to victory.
Yeah. The frustration comes when there's danger. And you literally just have no option to deal with it. Like my character can do nothing.
And just bad things keep compounding on you or things. I mean, we experienced that playing Gloomhaven. Like there are times when it's very challenging. We're like, okay, we've got a plan. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what you're going to do. And then you reach a point where it's like, oh, we're not going to win this. Mm-hmm. And then it sucks for like the rest of it because then the energy leaves and everything, and it's really painful. Now, as a DM, obviously, I'm controlling that directly, and I will say, I don't fudge any rolls. Obviously, none of us do because we're playing. Everything is rolled publicly on Roll20. However, I can fudge the shit out of hit points.
Yeah.
And this fight, you know, I've done it both ways before. This fight, I absolutely swung things in your direction. Every single one of those last probably 4 golems, I killed them when they still had like 5 hit points left.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it happened to Thimbleweed, it happened to Edmund, it happened to Frey. Like every time somebody was doing, like they were down to like, you know, below 10 hit points, and they would have technically survived. But I was like, fuck it, they're dead. It's getting late. Like they've done so much damage, they're done.
Yeah.
And that was an easy call to make because you guys had already suffered enough.
Yeah, exactly. I have no problem with that. Like even as a player, like it's just like I know even as a player, it's like you're not supposed to know when the DM is like fudging things.
But a lot of time the DM would be back there, you know, rolling dice hidden and be like, oh, this guy misses, this guy, oh, he's gonna attack this guy, you know. And I was even leaving it up to fate in terms of like the dice, like which one they target, because a lot of times that's something a DM can also do is like, oh well, you know, you're down or you're getting low, so he'll target this person. I was like, nah, these guys are. They're pretty mindless. They're just I'll leave that up to fate. But with hit points is the one thing we can hide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to address 2 of the chat's comments. Yeah. Yes, Nick, you are correct. If they had raised Valravn immediately, you still would have cast slow, and the fight would have gone much better. But if they got Valravn up straight away.
Oh yeah.
Although I'm curious, Blanket says
we went through a whole round with you being down, I think.
2
rounds, maybe
2 rounds,
right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then Celeste raised me after my second round being down.
And this is the hard part too. You didn't tell us what you're going to do, which is appropriate.
It's appropriate. I didn't want to be like, you know, metagaming, be like, hey, if you guys res me right now, you know.
You didn't say I'm gonna do something good.
that was me. That was just Chris going.
Yeah. So no, that's fine. Like I didn't want to know what it is, but from my perspective, I'm surrounded by 2 of these guys. I can do 6 hits each.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
you guys were in the danger zone.
I've heard my fire is effective. Do I try taking it out as soon as possible?
And honestly,
that's the tricky tactical choice.
It is a very tricky tactical choice. And I think, generally speaking, outside of, you know, your bard being able to slow 6 of your enemies, generally speaking, it's always the better choice to be offensive than heal.
We have talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, like it's always better to kill the enemies than it is to try to raise the hit points of your teammates. Just because...
Unless they're in literally danger of dying.
Yeah.
I was hoping if I could kill the 2 next to me, then okay, I can raise you if no one else has.
Yeah.
But they were just lasting a little bit longer than desired.
Obviously, I was gonna say that also made the fight a lot more challenging for you guys because you guys were literally surrounded from the get-go by enemies. Yeah. So your usual strategy of let Frey tank everything and then have Celeste run back and forth and do all that suddenly went out the window because everybody was getting pummeled by everything, and that really threw you guys pretty badly.
Our whole like frontline backline like dynamic is pretty crucial for her party, as it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I set this up. What I figured would happen is that initial, you know, volley would be pretty painful, and you guys would take some damage, but then you guys would be able to take these guys down pretty quickly. But because I rolled pretty good on initiative, like I get in a ton of attacks to where you went down in that first round, and it was like, oh damn, this is serious.
Yep. And then I don't know, Blinky, I'm not sure what you're talking about. That on the alchemist thing, is that a thing with alchemists? They do +3 damage with fire spells? Because that should have come into play here. I don't know if that's the case.
Man, I think we forgot a lot of stuff too. I didn't know.
What was the question?
He says you also do +3 damage with your fire spells because of alchemist.
No.
No, I don't know if that's an ability or something. Alchemist.
Just because of your subclass? I don't know.
I don't remember reading anything about alchemists getting fire damage.
I think Frey had that like helmet that's she can do like react damage.
That's true. Like, that is psychic damage. I don't think that would have been effective here, right?
Oh.
It's like
I guess I shouldn't say.
Oh yeah, that's true. We don't know yet. But
You're not sure what the things are.
They're called golems.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to look for that now, but I don't see anything.
Oh, you know what? Nope.
I haven't seen anything about adding +3.
I totally read the Snola Golem stat block wrong. At least the multi attack, specifically 3 melee attacks. So I should not have thrown 3 snowballs at you guys.
Oh, Okay.
So I did over. That only happened once where one of them was throwing snowballs, but
Yeah.
that is my bad. I should not have thrown multiple snowballs. It doesn't get to go vroom, vroom, vroom. Anything else? He is effectively a tank, yeah. I mean, you all had to take a lot of damage, essentially.
Yeah.
It was pretty
We
fucking
did.
crazy.
Yeah, everybody took a good amount of damage.
And even Frey can't quite
using the
effectively tank
spell.
as well because they're doing cold damage for a lot of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But, you know, short rest, you'll be feeling right as rain. You still got all your spell slots, or most of your spell slots. Everybody else used quite a few, but
Yeah.
all
Oh,
right.
here it is, Raymond. I see it. Alchemical Savant at 5th level. Whenever you cast a spell using your alchemist supplies as the spellcasting focus, you gain a bonus to one roll of the spell. I don't know what that means. One roll of the spell. The roll must restore hit points or there it is. Must restore hit points or be damaged that deals acid, fire, necrotic, or poison, and the bonus equals your intelligence modifier. So you're supposed to be doing more damage with your those
you're an alchemical
acid,
savant.
fire,
or if you're healing, that's kind of cool.
Or healing. You're supposed to be doing your intelligence modifier as a bonus.
Yeah, you get a +3.
Oh, all right then.
Acid, fire, necrotic, poison damage, or healing.
Good job. Good call.
Good to know. That would have been a 6 damage additionally every single time. Damn. But see, like I said, we were forgetting all kinds of.
Yeah.
I think we were all forgetting shit left and right.
Yeah.
It has been a hot minute, and
using a fire spell until now.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen the flaming sphere out of you before.
Oh, yeah, I've never used a flaming sphere. That was the first time.
Yeah.
Would that count for my green flame blade, though?
It should. It does fire.
Well, it's yeah.
I know you've used that green flame blade before.
One roll of a spell that does damage. That cantrips are spells that do damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really powerful with your green flame blade because that doesn't cost a spell slot. That's just a cantrip.
Cast a spell. You get a bonus to one roll of the spell. I don't know if you could apply them to both fire rolls.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So, but it would give you a plus, on one of the rolls.
Does a cantrip count as a spell?
It does.
It does. It doesn't say it has to take up a spell slot. It says cast a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Good to know. Do you have healing, too? I don't remember.
I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
But I did pick up a healing spell.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about healing you at some point.
You know what? I think we forgot to do your elixir, too, unless I missed that when you rested from leveling up.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do that.
You get at least one free elixir.
I think it's 2 now.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, 2 at 6th level. You're right. You get 2 elixirs. You can either do that now or next session, depending on or remember.
I'll do it now real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to forget.
I think I'd forget too.
All right, so 3 and a 2. That gives me resilience plus 1 AC for 10 minutes and swiftness plus 10 walking speed.
Speed is one thing you guys don't lack in, I would say. Pretty fast, mobile party.
Right.
Oh, cool. The character manager automatically added a tally for Flash of Genius, so it keeps track how many times I used it.
Ah, that's nice. All right. Anything else from session 40?
Curious to see what the rest of this dungeon has in store for us.
Yeah.
We presumably have some more cold things to deal with since we're looking at the same icy light that we saw the last time we went into a icy building.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was really rough, but the funny thing is the way D&D is balanced, like, you guys literally can short rest, some of you are going to spend probably 2/3 of your hit dice, but then you'll be back up to total health. Right. Monk gets back the key points.
Most key points on a short rest?
Yeah, all the key points back. Okay. So really, you guys are just out whatever spell slots you use, which all of you did use a couple. But, I mean, it was a tough fight, but since, everybody survived and you've got still full hit dice, like, You'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I will say
yeah,
this is a good sized dungeon, but it's not like a Sunblight or something either. It's not like
right.
Jihugent. It's somewhere between.
I've never heard that word before.
I wanted to make something that was in between because a lot of these smaller area quests are like kind of smallish. What's a good example? Like Cave of the
dungeon style, like
yeah, it was like a small cave. We did the Cave of the
Yeah.
Berserkers was one of them with the Goliaths in there. Like the Tourmaline Mine. I guess that one had multiple levels though. I wanted something that was a little bigger than those small dungeons, but obviously not something that's a big, long, like, oh, we have to long rest at some point dungeon. So
yeah,
that's where balance is at.
right.
All right. I think that will do it for this week's Frostside chat. I am glad to be back. The DM's chair and nearly killing all of you.
Exactly. Like I said, you took some notes from Heather, I think.
I was like, you know what? Hey, you know what happened? I've already killed a player character, so like that's off, and it's all open season now.
You've let the floodgates loose.
Yeah, and technically, you guys have enough money. You can probably just cart somebody back and resurrect them if you need to, assuming the body is salvageable.
Yeah. Yep.
Something that can happen.
Yep.
Right now, you guys are pretty still close to town. It might get more difficult later on.
Right.
All right. Thank you to Chris and Raymond. I am Eric. Thank you to all the wonderful fans for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Later. You know what I just thought of? I wonder if we could, because I know I've never properly used that spell absorbing thing, but I wonder if we could pay for a resurrection spell, and then just me stand there and absorb the resurrection spell, and just keep it in the amulet for whenever.
Wow, I'd have to look at the fine print on that and see if there was a level restriction or if there was some kind of check to be made. But I probably did not think about that. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's an interesting loophole, but you still have to pay for the resurrection, so I don't feel too bad about it.
Right.
But that's a very like video game ass thing too, is just to like, man, can I just like purchase like an amulet of resurrection? Because that'd be real handy to have out in the field.
Really handy to have out there.
Yes, it would.